Hello, my friends. How are you? So, today is the last day in Amelia Island for me for the Seduction of Spirit course, but it will continue through Saturday. My participation ends tonight, and then I leave for New York and then on to the Middle East. Shazad Islam, wherever you are, good day to you. So today I'm going to discuss where modern cosmology is going in terms of our understanding of the universe. And I will relate that to some of the things that we've been discussing here. You and I and all the wonderful people who join me every day for this conversation. Mona Mir, Leila Hadoon, Barbara Halek, Sheetal Rupani, Leila Hadoon from Morocco. Wow. Dan Algren, amazing, sending light and love to all. TEF London, thoughts are like guests. They check in and check out. Exactly, that's an old quote. Truman, Peter Fish, good morning. Jane Atkinson, good morning. Isabella Hernandez, good morning. Okay, we're almost 500 people here. I will wait for a little bit more. Also, if you think this is a good idea, discussing a recipe for creating infinite universes, and if you think this is a good idea and you'd like me to share with you the recipe for cooking up infinite universes, then let me know. Okay, you can press the like button, invite your friends, give me your feedback, tell me you disagree, criticize and condemn me, or agree. All that is useful in our conversation, in expanding our awareness of what we call reality. So, would you like this topic? Not seeing any major responses right now other than good morning and I love you and so on. I love you. Good morning to all of you. Shall we discuss how to cook up a universe instead of just wondering how to pay the rent? Expand your thinking. So the more you expand your thinking, the more you reach. What's that phrase? Stretch beyond your reach, or what's a dream for? Stretch beyond your reach, and what's a dream for? So today, I'm getting the feedback. Rachel Morley says yes. Rimal says yes. So let's discuss. Lisa Martin Naomi says yes. Chris says let's do it. Sajid anytime. Sajid Ahmad. So let's cook up right now infinite universes. Okay. I'm going to start, my friends. So tonight, go up, look at the night sky, and see the uncountable richness of stars and galaxies. And this richness gets augmented billions of times over through deep space images from many observatories scattered on the Earth and from space by the Hubble telescope and other space-borne detectors. The cosmos looks to be in no danger of disappearing. But actually, our modern cosmologists tell us that it is, that the universe is disappearing. And the reason they tell us it's disappearing is that they identify something called dark energy, which is expanding the space between galaxies faster than the speed of light. And this is a mathematical construct, and it's called the cosmological constant. And it was first described, of course, by Einstein, who also called it a blunder, but then he turns out to be right. The universe, in fact, is expanding faster than the speed of light. And what is expanding is the space between galaxies. Space between galaxies. So, whatever the energy is, which we call dark energy, it is the opposite of gravity. It is expanding the universe faster than the speed of light and the space between. That's almost 70% of the universe. And this expansion, if it goes on, which it seems to right now, from all the math, ultimately will result in galaxies being so far from each other that if humans are still alive on planet Earth, if they haven't been extinct by then, they will see no night sky in the way you and I see night skies. No stars, just totally dark, because these galaxies have moved beyond the cosmic horizon, which is now thought to be about 47 billion light years away from where we are. By the time light reaches us here, if we are still around as a species, then the universe, actually, by the time light reaches us here, if we are still around, we won't be still around. Even planet Earth won't be still around. And our solar system and our sun will have exhausted its thermonuclear energy and will have disappeared into the heat death of absolute zero. So that's what dark energy is doing, expanding the universe. Now that leaves about 30% of the universe remaining, of which about maybe 25% is another mysterious entity called dark matter, which is invisible matter. It doesn't reflect light, absorb light, emit light, and therefore it can't be seen. That's why it's called dark matter. So the reason it's called dark matter is that it's invisible and it's not atomic. What it's made of, we don't know. Scientists propose a particle called WIMP, W-I-M-P, weakly interacting massive particle. Nobody has seen this particle, but it's supposed to exist, and it composes 26% or so of the universe. So dark matter is so-called also because it bends space-time in the same way as regular matter and accounts for most of the gravity in a galaxy. And if there was no dark matter, then planets would stop rotating and moving around the solar system or its sun, and they would spiral off and get lost in intergalactic space, and you and I would disappear. So dark matter, invisible matter, keeps the world going. It keeps the planet spinning and moving around the sun, and keeps galaxies intact. It's the scaffolding of a galaxy, and it's also invisible. So that leaves about 4% of the universe, which is atomic, of which 99.999% is invisible interstellar dust that is thought to be mostly hydrogen and helium, probably created from deuterium a few minutes after the Big Bang, the so-called Big Bang that occurred 13.8 billion years ago. If you ask cosmologists where did the Big Bang happen, they say everywhere. There was no location, and that means if there was no location for the Big Bang, then that birth of the universe, which was neither big nor did it bang, actually happened in all locations and therefore contained all time. Interesting, isn't it? Omnipresence, omniscience, omnipotence, boom. And there we are, a universe born. So, the visible universe, which is now thought to be 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, and uncountable trillions of planets, with possibly 40 billion planets in just the Milky Way galaxy, that visible universe is 0.01% of what's there, or what exists. 0.01%. And that universe, atomic universe, is supposed to be made of subatomic particles, currently identified 18 particles plus an extra one called a graviton. And these particles somehow, in their entanglement and in their differentiation, created the visible universe. 0.01% of the visible universe is atomic. And this 0.01% of the universe, which is atomic, is derived from probability waves, which in scientific terms exist in Hilbert space, mathematical space, which is either 0 dimensions or infinite dimensions. So this is the current state of cosmology. And the problem is, of course, that this makes 99% of the universe or more inaccessible to us. And even the universe that we are experiencing is disappearing as a result of this dark energy. There are many things that actually compound this explanation. No cause can be ascribed to what we call the Big Bang. The cosmological constant, as it's called, is off by 10 to the power of 120 times. Its observed value, the mathematical value, and the observed value totally don't agree with each other. It's called a blunder. We can't explain it. And also, there is a period called cosmic inflation, where the universe triples in size every trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second, and then slows down. So it goes from almost being nothing to the size of a grapefruit, then slows down, and today it is 47 billion light years away from where you and I are sitting. So this is quite amazing if it is true, and it doesn't explain anything, and that we call our everyday experience of reality. Neither quantum physics, and sorry for my throat being a little dry as usual. I forgot to drink some water before I started. Okay, so this is where we are. But there's a new kind of thinking that is brewing amongst modern cosmologists. And this new thinking says that the universe is derived from information. Information. Wow. So information is a concept that's existed for a long time, but actually was mathematically elucidated by a scientist, mathematician, who worked for Bell Labs by the name of Claude Shannon. And one of the definitions of information is that it is the resolution of uncertainty. So, we say it's hot, it's cold, then we look at the temperature, we say, oh, it's 70 degrees. Hot for you, cold for me, and normal for somebody else. So information is the resolution of uncertainty in human consciousness. Where else? Okay? And now there's something very interesting that's happening. So there are some recent articles, including one very recently, that was published in a science journal, or in I came across it in a journal called Science Newsletter Big Thing. And this article, written by Philip Perry in the science newsletter that I get, says that there is no dark energy. So right there, you know, what do you call this? Busting of common notions. There's something called anyway. So this article says that maybe there is no such thing as dark energy, and that dark energy may be just the current scientific hype. And this notion is actually getting a lot of popularity right now, that energy itself is derived from energy, and matter themselves are derived from information. Okay, that's a very brand new idea. And this idea is gathering a little bit of momentum right now, and it is saying that the essential building block of the universe is in fact information. Okay, first proposed classical information theory by Claude Shannon, as I said, the father of the digital age. And now this is getting a lot of attention, and it actually goes back to a concept that comes from a great physicist called John Archibald Wheeler. And what John Archibald Wheeler said is that that everything that we call physical reality, everything, every particle, every force field, even the fabric of space-time itself, derives its facts, its meaning, and its very existence from apparatus derived information. Apparatus derived information. I'll read the exact quote if I can find it. Every particle, every force field, even the fabric of space-time itself, derives its existence, its meaning, its fact from apparatus derived observations to yes and no questions. And so the yes and no question create information. I hope you're with me at the moment. And these yes and no questions can be coded digitally in zeros and ones. Right now I'm speaking to you, and all this information is coming to you in the form of both sound that you're hearing and also the image that you're seeing. And this information is coming through digital codes, which are zeros and ones. And these digital codes are disturbing the electromagnetic field and ultimately being caught in your apparatus, your handheld device. And you're getting these information. So everything we do today, all our modern communications are based on information that is actually not only existing already, but also is generated as we create new modes of knowing and experience. And so the information is coded in zeros and ones. It is decoded in your apparatus from 0 and 1, into this experience that you're having, except it doesn't explain the experience itself. Okay? But this is a very interesting point, because there are some recent articles that say that the release of information, which is the it from the bit, which is a expression coined by John Wheeler. The bit is a unit of information. The bit is a unit of information, zeros and ones. Okay. The it is what is derived from it. And what is derived from it is seemingly what we are understanding as every experience, including the human construct or notion of energy, matter, space-time, and gravity. All this can be mathematically computed as information. And furthermore, some articles are now suggesting that mass, what we call the appearance of mass, is also derived from information, and that every time information is released, the it from the bit is released, there's a little bit of entropy, which creates also what we call the perceived arrow of time. So that's entropy is considered is the only thing that is considered irreversible. So if you drop an egg and it falls on the ground, it spills and it spreads out and ultimately decays into just energy and the chaos of matter, and ultimately actually at some point disappears. This arrow of time is irreversible, according to at least if you understand entropy. So there is no reversibility of time. Now, of course, there are mathematics and even something in quantum physics called weak measurements that say it's not true. We experience an arrow of time, but even time is reversible, and actually it completely disappears in the singularity of the heat death of absolute zero. So these are current concepts that are actually saying that if you understand information, we will see how information informs everything that we call reality, including space-time, gravity, the curvature of space-time, which is gravity, which somehow is related to mass, which of course is related to the movement of stars and galaxies and planets and all of that. So all these are mathematical constructs that then create amongst theoretical physicists, that create models of reality. And these models of reality are what we use to explain the origins and also the appearance of the universe. But right now, actually, there are very popular theories that include string theory, include a theory called eternal inflation, and M theory, etc., which suggest that there are infinite universes. And these theories are, as I said, based on concepts like eternal inflation, parallel universes, daughter universes, and on. Parallel universes, the universe being a big bubble that generates smaller bubbles, and each bubble is its own universe. According to this version, you have infinite versions of you in infinite dimensions of space and time and infinite universes. But now let's actually try and go beyond all these models and ask ourselves a very simple question, and that is, is not information a construct derived in human consciousness? It's obvious that it's a mathematical construct derived in human consciousness. So information is not a physical entity, nor is the curvature of space-time a physical entity, which gives rise to gravity, which also is not a physical substance. So information is not a physical substance. The curvature of space-time is not a physical substance. Gravity is not a physical substance. And mathematics that helps us derive all this is also not a physical substance. Mathematics is not a physical substance. Information is not a physical substance. Space-time is not a physical substance. The curvature of space-time is not a physical substance. Gravity is not a physical substance. Mathematics is not a physical substance. Information is not a physical substance. And it all comes out of consciousness, which is also not a physical substance. So could it be that dark energy and dark matter are actually states of information and energy as derived from that information, and then gravity and entropy, and then the appearance of mass? So instead of explaining classically gravity from mass and deriving gravity from mass, which is classical Newtonian physics, and now, of course, we have the whole theory of the Higgs boson, an invisible, ephemeral, evanescent particle that takes billions of dollars to detect in a hadron collider, also created by human consciousness. And that Higgs boson, which is such an evanescent, apparently massless things, gives rise to all the mass in the universe. Wow. So where are we? I think if you follow this line of argument and reasoning, then you'll see that the universe is conceived, constructed, governed, and comes into existence in consciousness. And the universe that we experience is a human experience, because both the human body and the human mind and the human experience of the universe are the result of information, according to this model, derived in a cosmic consciousness. So we, you, me, the plants behind me, the curtain, the room I'm in, and the room you're in, and everything that you call the universe is a digital workshop, a nanotechnology digital workshop in a cosmic mind. But the digital workshop in the cosmic mind that is being experienced as the human universe is very different from the digital workshop in the cosmic mind that is producing a crocodile universe or an insect universe or a plant universe. Insects, plants, crocodiles, and other species are also human constructs for human experiences in human consciousness. What they're experiencing, who knows? But whatever they're experiencing is also actually a derivative of this nanotechnology workshop in the cosmic mind that creates infinite universes for infinity in infinite dimensions for infinite experiences. How about that? How about that? Digital workshop in a cosmic mind, in a nanotechnology workshop in the cosmic mind. It creates everything, your brain, your mind, your experience of the universe. So if we actually change our stance from matter being fundamental to consciousness being fundamental, we can actually explain how information is described or derived from consciousness, and how information leads to entropy and the arrow of time, and how information ultimately is generated also as dark matter and dark energy, and how that ultimately expresses itself as regular matter and energy. Ramanand Krishnan says something very interesting. Krishna, and he's quoting Krishna, I am Vasuki, the maintainer of the universe. I am the universe. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. So I'm going to be writing an article on this with my physicist friend, Menas Kafatos. And this article will appear in the San Francisco Chronicle on Monday. And hopefully I'll share it with all of you. And it's not something that mainstream physicists are comfortable with, that the universe was conceived in a cosmic consciousness. But that's where science is taking us as well. Of course, wisdom tradition says that all these constructs are a result of human thought, and we can transcend human thought to the source of all creation. So that's it, my friends, for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll share the article on Monday on Twitter and Facebook, and so please look for it. And as I said, many physicists do not agree with this, but there are many that do agree. Yes, Maria, we are cosmic beings. Krishna says, I told you this is knowledge to sun, says Ramanand Dikshit. Sajid Ahmad says, thank you for sharing this. Christina Wolf, neutrinos. Yeah, neutrinos are invisible particles that can move through the earth faster at the speed of light, and they're totally invisible. But remember, all these 18 particles plus the graviton are also human constructs for modes of knowing and experience. And all we have is our mode of knowing and experience in the infinite mind, but even our mode of knowing and experience is leading to a cosmic consciousness that generates infinite universes. And the source of that is also our source. The source of the individual is the source of the universe. Atman is Brahman. Article will be out on Monday. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aurora, and thank you all of us for engaging here. God bless.